Hello, everyone, and welcome again to our regulatory update meeting for today. Again, we have several interesting updates regarding medical devices and IVD in different countries. We'll share with you updates in South Korea, Australia, Philippines, South Africa, Russia, Brazil, India, Chile. So a little bit diversified areas. First one is related to IVD classification and specifically self-testing devices. The second one is medical device approval notification and review regulation. That was and this third one is the medical device approval and review regulation, which is, as we will see, a draft adding some amendment, not amendments, or adding some changes, yes, to the second one, the second update as we just said. So in the first one, regarding the IVD classification for self-testing devices, it's an official amendment that was issued last November 2025, and it focuses specifically, as we said, on the classification rule for IVD, especially those for self-testing devices. So the authority introduced clear criteria. A device can be classified as self-testing device only if it meets all these criteria, all of them together. Professionals, use easy samples, be simple, low potential risk if results are incorrect. So even if its device is simple, if the impact of an incorrect result is as a self-testing device. However, there is a emergency situation. So during public health crisis, for example, or infectious disease outbreaks, the authority can still classify even if not all these criteria. So it's a special situation. That was for the first update regarding the IVD devices in South Korea, self-testing devices. It was a clarification. And the second one, it was updated by the authority and came in force at the same time on the 26th of January of this year. It defines details requirements for the approval, certification, notification, and technical review of medical devices in South Korea. So, if products are considered in the same group, products group, they can be submitted together. Now, for combination or kit products, classification is based on the main function and the highest risk. Also, all components must be clearly listed. If your product matches a published equivalent device, you can follow a simplified pathway. And a software is clearly regulated. Any major change, especially algorithm or cybersecurity, requires regulatory updates. So, and the third and last update in South Korea, this one is a draft for comment. It's amendment, but this amendment or draft amendment for a public consultation for now, and it aims to update the existing regulation that we just discussed. We'll see what is proposed as amendment. So before this update, only high-risk devices could continue manufacturing old version during the changes when we are applying for changes or license amendment. Only high-risk devices were meant to be continue manufacturing process. But now this flexibility is extended to the class 1 devices as well. So this is very helpful for business because it is security for the secure kind of continuity and supply management. So yes, this one is a major regulatory shift. The world evidence to replace clinical trial data in more situations. So including when modifying an existing device, including during the modification. This reduces time, it's very helpful, and also reduce costs for manufacturer. So we can say that this is a very important update. This moment, notarized translation, manufacturer can now provide confirmation that translation are correct and accurate, and that is sufficient. So, as I said, this is still in discussion. It's still a draft, and we'll update you if it is when it will be issued. Now, media advertising update. This is now very important, and in several countries they are issuing guidelines regarding that, because there was some kind of time gap. TGA advertising rules for especially for software-based medical devices. So let's start with the first one. The first update is an official guidance from the TGA, updated in November of 2025, and it focuses on how medical devices and IVD must be advertised on social media. This update mainly addresses increasing non-compliance trend and clarify responsibility for the company, for the advertiser, and also for the influencers. So the key updates reinforces that almost any activity that promotes a product is considered advertising. So this includes not only direct ads, but also indirect promotion like hashtag, repost, and influencer content. So even subtle or implied promotion falls under this regulation. So a major update is the expansion of responsibility. Now, companies are not only responsible for their own posts, but also for influencers and even user comments on their pages. Active monitoring, so for the company, active monitoring is required and non-compliant content must be removed. So in this guidance strongly focuses on influencer marketing. So a paid promotion must be clearly disclosed. Testimonials are highly regulated and cannot be misleading or fake or fabricated. Now, related to AI, this is a new addition. So any AI must comply with the same rules and company remain fully responsible even if the content is created automatically. So should be monitored strictly. Another important update is linking social media with pharmacovigilance. How? The companies now must monitor comments and identify adverse events, then report them according to the regulatory timelines from social media. And related to clinical trial. So clinical trial advertising is tightly controlled. Suggestion benefits. So also corporate announcements on social media can be considered advertising if they highlight product benefits, which creates a compliance risk. So the TGA is actively enforcing compliance. Thousands of ads have been removed and penalties are significant, including financial penalty and legal action, as you can see in the screen. Now, moving to the second update in Australia, the TGA advertising rule for software-based medical devices. This is a recent TGA guidance that was on March 2026. It explains how software-based medical devices must be advertised. So here, a key point is that advertising itself can change regulatory status, as you know. So if a software claims medical purposes, it may become automatically a regulatory medical device. This is critical for developers and manufacturers. And yeah, advertising cannot reference serious diseases like cancer, HIV, for example, unless it is explicitly permitted. And the restricted claims require prior approval and must be accurate and balanced. The restricted claims are related to other conditions like diabetes, for example. So this one requires prior approval. So a key compliance risk is accessibility. So if content intended for professional is accessible to public, it must comply with consumer rules. This is a common mistake that we see in several cases. So if content is for professional, it should be secured somehow. We'll specify that. It gives practical methods to restrict this access, such as verifying professional credential and several like different layer of security used by the professional to avoid access to these contents for public. So the TGA enforces this rule strictly. And non-compliance can lead to serious legal consequences, including, in this case, criminal penalty. So, yeah, that was related to Australia. In the Philippines, we will review two different updates. CMDN e-services portal and PMAS, which is post-marketing alert system. And application using the e-services portal. So this e-services portal, it replaces the outdated e-portal system to improve efficiency and processing. The old portal system and discuss today is the e-services portal. So portal, which had technical issue and some inefficiency. So comes to replace it, it is designed specifically to resolve all these problems, hopefully. So this circular is limited to initial application. Processes like renewal and variation are handled separately. In the this system, the MAS, for medical devices based on the Annex 5 of the Asian Medical Device Directive, or AMDD. So the PMAS introduces key post-market requirements, including complaints, tracking, adverse events, reporting, and corrective action to manage risk. So now it is mandatory, it's not optional anymore. All of this. The order defines clear timelines for handling the different safety alerts, as you can see in the slide. So the FDA evaluates risks and may take regulatory actions such as recalls or market suspension. So, but as all post-market marketing system, the system is dynamic. So any updates to AMDD Annex 5 are automatically applied, ensuring alignment with the regional regulation. Since it is linked, so it is automatically updated. For this, company are given 1 year to comply with the new PMAS requirements. 1 year. Okay. Moving to South Africa. We review an update related to product list changes. So this communication provides guidance on how license holders must notify SAPRA when updating product lists linked to their medical device establishment license. So if any major license details change, the notification will be rejected and a formal amendment application must be submitted. So notification is sufficient instead of a full amendment. A key operational point that for amendments, implementation only after approval. But for notification, if SAPRA does not respond within 10 working days, the company can go ahead and proceed with the change without waiting for the approval. But this is just for the amendment, they have to wait for the approval. For the fees, notification are free, but formal amendment require payment. That's it for that country. For Russia, our update will be related to registration, specifically to transitional extension updates. Ground, as you may know, Russia is one of the 5 economic union which entered into an agreement process for the registration of medical devices within the union. So in order to ensure the continuity and deadline for national just documentation and procedure, the requirement of the Eurasian Economic Union. for the circulation of these devices. The page become unresponsive. Inconvenience. Suddenly it is freeze. May have to exit and registration. Okay. We will reconnect shortly. Thank you. Mhm. 2 minutes, it will be okay. Thank you for waiting. Have the presentation now. minutes or 5 minutes. Yeah. I'm sharing the presentation. Val, can you confirm if you see my screen? No.
Yes.
Okay. I think you can see my screen now. Thank, thank you for this, for waiting. We're talking about Russia. We talked about this. We give this a background about Russian regulation and its position within the Eurasian Economic Union. So this is about the transitional extension update, as we said. So this is the most important update in the document. The deadline for certain regulatory provision has been extended by 2 additional years, from 31st of December 2026 to the 31st of December 2028. Some specific section of to continue temporarily related to UDI system. So this is an instruction, and this instruction defined how company must submit and manage UDI. So it is directly linked to the RDC 591 of the 2021, which established the UDI system. This document will focus specifically on how data must be transmitted, updated, corrected, and maintained in the national database that we know it is known as CUD. So CUD is the official Brazilian UDI database. Each device model must be uniquely identified using the UDI DI. And company must ensure that UDI data exactly matches what was approved by Anvisa. The most important rule is that you cannot place a device on the Brazilian market unless its UDI data has already been submitted to the system. So Anvisa requires only the UDI DI to be submitted, mean the device identify what the product is, which correspond to the production identifier, it identifies specific or unit. Always remain with the registration holder. Even if a third party submitted data for the UDI, the company must control the access, define the scope, and ensure accuracy. This is a key compliance point for the UDI system. Company have 60 days to correct errors after publication. After this period, only minor changes are allowed. Major changes require new UDI-DI. So this means that data must be correct from the beginning. An error can become costly later. So if a device change impacts its identity, and as I said, a new UDI must be created. For example, a design change or intended use change, and the timeline of the system to ensure the traceability continuity. So company must actively manage life cycle data when a product, leaves the market, loses registration, for example, the UDI must be updated accordingly. Important point, this does not prevent use of devices already in the market. In India, related to regulatory, this circular, it does not introduce a new law, but it just reinforces compliance under existing regulation, because several non-compliance were seen or in the market activity. So this is the purpose of this circular, to make it clear that it is strict. So this, what is strict, we will see here. This circular specifically targets devices used in IVF, in vitro fertilization. An important point is this: devices are officially considered, because there will be some misunderstanding of this point. So they must follow full regulatory requirements. The company, as I said, selling IVF-related devices without obtaining proper licenses. This is a serious compliance violation and triggered in this circular. So this circular clarified that there should be products are not optional or related medical devices to, as I said, to by the companies. In the last country today, we are on time. Important update. We will review this update, which is related to new sanitary control framework or the registration. So this decree introduces a major regulatory update in Chile by incorporating a list of medical devices and IVD into the mandatory sanitary control regime under the health code. This is not just a clarification. In this case, it is a real expansion of the regulatory scope product that should be registered. So that means that in Chile now, more devices are now formally regulated. This one is the most important change. Previously, not all devices were strictly controlled. Now, a specific list, as I said, of devices is officially. What does it mean? Wide range of devices listed in this document. For example, in IVD, HPV, COVID, pregnancy test. For devices, for example, we have stents, dialysis system, and for software, the imaging analysis. This is a broad regulatory. These devices must undergo verification of conformity. With important point, the current assessment is currently performed by the Institute of Public Health, known as ISP, due to the. So this is a key operational constraint. Performance validation, but even that alternative standard may be accepted if they are equivalent to those one, the common one. After this obtaining the conformity assessment, the device must obtain the sanitary registration on. In other words, must be registered. Without this, market access is not allowed for this product that are listed in this regulation. So this means that the Chile regulation system now is uh, duly formalized. So the regulatory control continue after approval. Example of changes, for example, in the design, in the intended use or the performance, if they are significant, a new registration should be submitted, like a new approval is required. So this is aligned Chile with the global life cycle requirement. And this decree provide gradual implementation high-risk devices, and here we mean by high-risk class 3 and 4 for medical devices, and class C and D for IVD. So these high-risk devices, the timeline is 24 months. For the other devices, is up to 36 months. So to allow sometimes for the industry to comply with it. Enforcement is shared between the national regional health authority to ensure some market surveillance, compliance, and strong. So with all this, a strong enforcement is expected. So this decree really represents a major regulatory upgrade in Chile. It expands the coverage, it strengthens the control, it's aligned with the global framework. So Chile now is moving toward a more major regulatory system. Thank you. Yeah, we have time for one question, maybe. Gabi? Yes, Gabriela.
Hi, Iman. Thank you for the presentation. I have a question about the
Hi,
Philippines.
you're welcome.
So
Yeah.
in the Philippines, I understand that the change from the e-portal to e-services is specifically mandatory for new applications. But what about ongoing applications, renewals, or creations, amendments? I mean, other types of submissions.
Yes. So in this case, like as they are switching from the e-portal to the e-services, the ongoing application in e-portal will continue until their complete issuance. While in case of the renewal and variation application, we're still waiting for a new application that will be issued, they said, soon. But meanwhile, if there is any renewal need or variation need, they can be submitted via email for now. But they would not use the e-portal because it will be deactivated. So e-portal only is waiting for the submitted application, and e-services accept the new submission, but for renewal and the variation, for now via email. But soon it will be integrated into the e-system.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank you. Thank you for your assistance, and hope to see you next month with the new updates in others country or similar country. We will see what's Bye.
Thank you, Iman.
Thank you, man. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.